Okay. So the first set we've got is the Z-axis limit switch to the upright. The process of getting the limit switch, the Z-axis limit switch into the V channel itself is quite tricky. Wow. A little bit tricky doing this with one hand. So obviously these go through here, through the bottom of the base, which is pretty simple. So when you're putting the right sides, the upright frame to the base, don't do what I did. Read the instructions, clearly states here, short hole closest to the base, not the other way around. Okay, so we've got the Z-axis frame on top of the Z-axis uprights with the extruder and everything. Quite simple. The V channel, sit on the V channel, and then the Z-axis screw goes through that thread nut, and yeah, she's good to go. So when you're putting the LCD control panel in place, it's not immediately apparent how it attaches, because you've got these lock nuts here that slide in these grooves. But obviously when you get them in there, they need to rotate to be able to lock in these V channels here. So the simplest way, it's not really stated in the manual, but you just take this front cover plate off. That then allows you to slide the mounting plate in place. Okay, and when you do it, you should see there, that's how they slide in. So nice and loose. You slide it through, put it in the position that you want. Tighten them up in there. And you're good to go. If you persevere with it, you'll get there eventually. Again, not the best system, but it is what it is with these V channels. I guess that's what they came up with at the time. And eventually, that'll be locked in. You can snap this front panel plate cover back into place. Again, quite hard, one-handed. Get it into position, push that back in, and then obviously connector cable goes into there. These little lugs will go into the holes in here, and push it down, and she's good to go. So the cable itself just pushes up in there. I'm not a big fan of the setup. I will print something to tidy that up a bit, a cover, enclosure, whatever at some stage, but I mean obviously that just sits down there like that. Not very tidy, but it is what it is. Okay, so with the filament holder, the spool holder, another thing that Creality did in their wisdom, I don't know why, bit of an oversight. Again, being the V channel, they've utilised the same lock nuts which slide into the V channel there, but they sort of skipped a step. So to actually put that in place, and obviously, down the track you can slide that along, you want in the middle, whatever, that's fine. But I've actually had to take these top mount screws out to be able to obviously get those locking nuts into the V channel, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but again, it's just 2 screws. Not the hardest thing in the world to do, but just a bit of a pain in the butt to get it done. But again, yeah, quite easily. Can be done in 2 minutes. So we'll see how we go when we start printing, whether this spool holder is going to be in the way, or I want to spin it around, or just completely remove it and make an external spool holder. Because where that is, it's not the best. The kit itself doesn't come with some spring washers for these screws here, so that's another oversight of the kit. So if you do buy this kit, again, get yourself some screw washers to lock that spool holder in. I think they were M5s, M4s, something like that. Pretty straightforward, easy fix. Not a big deal, but again, when you buy a kit like this, you'd expect that would be something to have in the kit, because you don't want your spool holder flopping around. It's going to create vibrations, it's going to create movement, and ultimately it's going to affect your print in the long run. Okay, so as far as wiring goes, again, it's pretty straightforward. What they've done is, if I can grab it, they've labelled the wirings with X, Z, so you can't really get things wrong. So obviously X being the X-axis for the stepper motor, and the X limit switch, obviously the pin numbers correspond to the pin numbers for your stepper motors being the larger ones, and then your limit switches are going to have lesser pins, so you can't really go wrong with wiring these things up. And the manual itself, again, straightforward, XX, E, Z. And the user, as with most printers, big thing to note, based on your region, you want to ensure that you've got your voltage select the right direction, 230 volt or 115 volt. Very important. So yeah, very important. Myself being in Australia, we use the 230 volts there. Can't get it wrong. If in doubt, Google's your friend, check it out. One thing when you're wiring things up here, this top motor here, it's quite close to the Z-axis thread, so it shouldn't be an issue, but obviously a little bit of cable management is going to be needed. The kit does come with various cable ties for that purpose, I guess, just to keep everything out of the way, which I will get to at some stage on the build. But essentially, the kit itself is complete. I mean, it only took me, half an hour at most, and that was also because I was, being a bit of a novice and stuffing around, but it doesn't really take much to put together. As you can see, the uprights and the X's and the controls. So next step, we might run it through a bit of a bed level and see how we go with that. Okay, so just plug it in. Turn the power on. Let's see how she goes. Super fast boot up time, can't complain. It's telling you the next step is the bed leveling. And it's pretty straightforward there. Go to prepare. We want to go auto home. So X and Y limit switches are working well. It's quite slow on the Z axis for homing, which obviously it's got to run through the thread, but nice and smooth, pretty quiet. You can hear the fan, but it's not too bad. Obviously I haven't done the cable management yet, so hopefully we won't get any snags. go. Set the Z-axis limit switch. What I might do, I'm going to quickly do some cable management because we're going to go through the leveling here in a second and heat the bed, so I don't want to be melting any cables. And by cable management, man, it's just a little quick cable tie there, just to keep things out of the way. Obviously want to do a better job, but I'm just testing it at this stage, so we'll see how we go. So the kit itself comes with this handy little USB. The SD card fits in the end there. Just a SD adapter for USB. Just put it in. I just want to do a quick test print. I've just loaded up the free element that comes with the kit as a test. And basically put the SD in. Go to print. There's a couple of test files on here, so I might just give the dog a try, and we'll see how it goes. Now I've only done a quick bed level here. I've only done it once. I haven't done a couple, so still a quick purge as it moves into position, so we'll see how it goes. This is just, again, straight out of the kit, a quick level. It's done a purge line there, and we'll see how the first layer turns out. Again, straight out of the box, a quick level, and then straight into the dog test print. First layer's going in very nice. I haven't cleaned the bed. There you go. Creality Ender3 V2 so far, very nice machine. Alright, so I just came back, and because I'm using the test film, it's actually snapped on the test print. So I just stopped it. It was for the cat and it focuses, but you can see the quality is insane. That's no tweaking, factory settings, even the writing on the cat, the test cat. So I just started another one, started another dog. First layer is awesome edition. And obviously I crank the speed up, but you can see it's running really sweet out of the box. We'll get that one going and we'll see how that turns out.